Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Brendan and here we teach that you can manifest anything if you can believe. In today's video, we're going to show you step by step how you can use this simple but powerful technique from Neville Goddard to manifest multiple desires through detachment. That way you can get wonderful results like these. So if you're new to manifestation or if you just need a refresher, manifestation is conscious creation of your reality. You are creating your reality, your physical experience, moment by moment by moment. You are doing this with your conscious mind, okay? What you are thinking, feelingly, and imagining throughout your day is creating your physical experience. So here we teach you how you can align your mindset, align your state of consciousness, your vibration, with that of your wish fulfilled, your desire already made real, so that you can consciously manifest what you desire into your reality in the immediate future. So last time we talked about how all your power as a creator of your reality is actually focused here and now in the present moment. It's not in the future, it's not in the past, but your conscious awareness, your attention is always in the now. Even though we experience time in a linear fashion, all there really is this now moment. And that's why we touched on how important it is to keep your attention in the present moment off of seeming lack or seeming limitation or seeming problems you may be experiencing in your current physical reality. And remember, I say seeming lack, seeming problems, seeming negative experiences because it is only a illusion, all right? As you know, this physical experience is just a outpicturing of your former state of consciousness, your former state of being, or vibration, if you will. But by focusing where all your power is right here, right now, in the present moment, you can change it, okay? You can change and become loyal, faithful to your new imaginal acts, your new way of thinking, feeling, being, and therefore see that new state resurrected from the intangible in your mind, in your consciousness, to the tangible, the physical reality, the reflection of yourself. Now, the Neville Goddard technique that we're going to be talking about to help you manifest multiple desires at once, okay? It's super powerful, super incredible, one of my favorites. It is the Isn't It Wonderful technique. It's a bit of an affirmation. It's something that you repeat to yourself to work as a sort of positive trigger. It's going to help you amplify a positive feeling within yourself that something wonderful is happening to you now. And as Neville Goddard often said, the power of every imaginal act is in its implication. So when you're feeling this, when you're pumping up this feeling, amplifying this feeling that something wonderful is happening to you now, that is an imaginal act. Therefore, persisting in that feeling, allowing yourself to dwell in it, live in it, make it your natural state of consciousness or state of being, then something will come to fulfill that in physicality. Neville Goddard shared this technique at the end of one of his lectures in a question and answer session. We don't have a recording of it, but it was transcribed by one of the students there so that we may benefit from this wonderful answer. The question was, is it possible to imagine many things at one time, or should I confine my imagining to one desire? And Neville thus answered, personally, I like to confine my imaginal act to a single thought, but that does not mean I will stop there. During the course of a day, I may imagine many things, but instead of imagining lots of small things, I would suggest that you imagine something so big it includes all the little things. Instead of imagining wealth, health, and friends, imagine being ecstatic. You could not be ecstatic and be in pain. You could not be ecstatic and be threatened with a dispossession notice. You could not be ecstatic if you were not enjoying a full measure of friendship and love. Again, he's tapping into the implication of your feeling, not just emotion, but your attitude of mind, your state of mind, your beliefs are all parts of your imaginal acts, which by their implication will draw something of equal measure, equal to match your feeling into your world. Neville continues, what would the feeling be like were you ecstatic without knowing what had happened to produce your ecstasy? Reduce the idea of ecstasy to the single sensation. Isn't it wonderful? Do not allow the conscious reasoning mind to ask why, because if it does, it will start to look for visible causes, and then the sensation will be lost. Rather, repeat over and over again, isn't it wonderful? Suspend judgment as to what is wonderful. Catch the one sensation of the wonder of it all, and things will happen to bear witness to the truth of this sensation. And I promise you, it will include all the little things. Now in there, you hear him talk about how it's important not to allow the rational or reasoning mind, that is the mind that is associated, tied to this physical reality, the world of the senses. You don't let it interfere with your feeling that something wonderful is happening to you now. You don't let it interfere with that feeling of pure joy, ecstasy, love within yourself. Because if so, then you're going to lose the feeling and that imaginal act, and its power will be lost. So whenever you're able to ignore your physical circumstances, the world of the senses entirely, and not look for reasons why you should feel how you want to feel, and you choose to feel it anyways, that is practicing detachment. You are learning to become self-sufficient in that you don't need any physical thing to give you the feeling you're after. You simply recognize that because you are a conscious being, you can choose your state of consciousness, no matter what appears to be happening in this seeming reality, in this physical world, which is really just a reflection of your consciousness. So if you wish to change the reflection, you don't go about in the world trying to figure out what to do to change your reality. Instead, you go within, you go and change self so that the world, the reflection of self that it is, will then be changed. By the way, if you want to learn the exact methods I use in order to detach from the world of the senses so that you can easily and effortlessly manifest your every desire consistently, check out the Manifestation Mastery System. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and the description. So to break this down step by step, no matter what you're experiencing, no matter what you're going through, if you have multiple things that you want, like many of us do, and you don't want to take the time to sit down and imagine one by one or simply solve these issues, seeming issues in your life, one by one, then you can simply focus on learning to feel ecstatic, right? Learning to feel joy, love, ecstasy without anything on the outside causing it. You do that by repeating within yourself a short phrase, something like, "Isn't it wonderful?" I really enjoy that one. Or saying something like, "Something wonderful is happening to me now." That's the phrase that one of Neville Goddard's students used as they gave it in their success story, published in his book, The Law and the Promise. But you repeat that phrase over and over, suspending judgment as to what is wonderful. You don't let that conscious, rational, reasoning mind interfere with your feeling whatsoever. You don't try and say, "Oh, this is going bad," or "this is going wrong," or "nothing's going good," and allow that to keep you from feeling ecstatic. Because as long as you do, you are attached and chained to, bound by, the world of the senses. But you are not a slave, you are a powerful conscious being, and you have that power to change your state of consciousness no matter what appears in your world. And as you understand this power, keeping your mind in the present moment, not imagining some negative future or focusing on some negative past event, and allowing it to draw you into fear, worry, doubt, impatience, anxiety. Instead, you rise up, you feel yourself to be a powerful being, and you choose ecstatic, you choose joy, you choose love, here and now. You use your short phrase to pump up that feeling within you, and you do it so often you make it your dwelling place. You don't do it trying to manifest one thing or the other. You do it trusting that that ecstatic feeling implies that everything you want is already yours right here, right now. Now I'll read to you the success story that demonstrates this wonderfully from The Law and the Promise that I mentioned previously. This is Neville from the book The Law and the Promise. The lady in the following story so successfully felt the feeling of her wish fulfilled, she made her mood the character of the night, frozen in a delightful dream. Most of us read and love fairy stories, but we all know that stories of improbable riches and good fortune are for the delight of the very young. But are they? I want to tell you of something unbelievably wonderful that happened to me through the power of my imagination, and I am not young in years. We live in an age which believes in neither fable nor magic, and yet everything I could possibly want in my wildest daydreams was given to me by the simple use of what you teach. That imagining creates reality, and that feeling is the secret of imagining. At the time this wonderful thing happened to me, I was out of a job and had no family to fall back upon for support. I needed just about everything. To find a decent job, I needed a car to look for it, and though I had a car, it was so worn out it was ready to fall apart. I was behind in my rent, I had no proper clothes to seek a job, and today it's no fun for a woman of 55 to apply for a job of any kind. My bank account was almost depleted, and there was no friend to whom I could turn. But I had been attending your lectures for almost a year, and my desperation forced me to put my imagination to the test. Indeed, I had nothing to lose. It was natural for me, I suppose, to begin by imagining myself having everything I needed, but I needed so many things and in such short order that I found myself exhausted when I finally got through the list, and by that time I was so nervous I could not sleep. One lecture night I heard you tell of an artist who captured the feeling, or word as you called it, of "Isn't it wonderful?" in his personal experience. I began to apply this idea to my case. Instead of thinking of and imagining every article I needed, I tried to capture the feeling that something wonderful was happening to me, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. I would say over and over to myself as I fell asleep, "Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening to me now." And as I fell asleep, I would feel the way I would expect to feel under such circumstances. I repeated that imaginary action and feeling for 2 months, night after night, and one day in early October, I met a casual friend I hadn't seen for months, who informed me he was about to leave on a trip to New York. I had lived in New York many years ago, and we talked of the city a few moments and then parted. I completely forgot the incident. 1 month later to the day, this man called at my apartment and simply handed me a certified check in my name for $2,500. In today's time, that's about $33,000. After I got over the initial shock of seeing my name on a check for so much money, the story that unfolded seemed to me like a dream. It concerned a friend I had not seen nor heard from in more than 25 years. This friend of my past, I now learned, had become extremely wealthy in those 25 years. Our mutual acquaintance who had brought the check to me had met him quite by accident during the trip to New York last month. During their conversation, they spoke of me, and for reasons I was not to know, for to this day I have not heard from him personally and have never attempted to contact him, this old friend decided to share a portion of his great wealth with me. For the next 2 years, from the office of his attorney, I received monthly checks so generous in amount they not only covered every necessary requirement of daily living, but left much over for all the lovely things of life: a car, clothes, a spacious apartment, and best of all, no need to earn my daily bread. This past month I received a letter and some legal papers to be signed, which provide the continuation of this monthly income for the rest of my natural life. TK. If the fool would persist in his folly, he would become wise. William Blake. So that is a lengthy but wonderful example of one woman who used one feeling, one affirmation, "Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening to me now," to amplify that feeling within herself and not question anything about her physical circumstances, not focus on her broken down car, the fact that she needed but was uncomfortable to get a job, the fact that she had no one she could rely upon. And out of nowhere, the universe gifted her this wonderful, wonderful income every single month that would continue on for the rest of her natural life. So if you have more than one desire, you don't have to break a sweat imagining each and every article of what you want, as she put it. You can simply focus on this one feeling and detach from the world of the senses so that you can live in that feeling, abide by it, remain faithful to it, and therefore give life to it in your physical experience. So I'm sure you found this helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Take care.